Read the disclaimers, and please use common sense.
Salutations, denizens of the internet. I'm Firebyte27, and, well, normally I wouldn't make a preamble for an unboxing video, but I feel it's warranted this time. And, well, that's because, quite frankly, the quality on Transformers has been slipping recently.
We came into 2025 hot off the heels of the Legacy trilogy, and levy all the complaints you want at the trilogy, be it that its character choices were sometimes a bit too obscure, or the fact that it blatantly disrespected any aesthetic that wasn't G1 the Unicron trilogy or G2 for some reason. Give it whatever bad press you feel like, but you can't deny, I can't deny the fact that it was an astoundingly avant-garde series of toy lines from start to finish that pushed the boundaries of what Transformers are. Then during the back half of 2024, we were hit by an announcement that felt like, I don't want to say a misstep, but definitely a weird choice. The Legacy trilogy truly began with a changing of the guard when John Warden stepped down from his position as Transformers brand manager. At least I think that was his position. The reason it's relevant is because his original tenure as brand manager saw the release of the controversial Prime Wars trilogy and the well-regarded War for Cybertron trilogy, and his well-documented refusal to put anything that wasn't G1 into the War for Cybertron toy line. The waning months of 2024 would see the announcement that yes, John Warden was returning to the Transformers brand, and with him he brought the next trilogy of Transformer toy lines, going by the epic moniker Age of the Primes! A name so epic that they couldn't even come up with an equally epic logo to go along with it. And while some of us were concerned that this would mark a return to the G1 oversaturation from the Prime Wars and War for Cybertron trilogies, I wasn't so concerned about that. I mean, sure, John Warden isn't perfect, but he was still responsible for the War for Cybertron trilogy, one of the best toy lines Hasbro has created within the past decade. Plus, I've never really bought into the narrative that John Warden only cares about G1. I think he prefers it for sure, but at the same time, he did allow the Beast-Wars characters into Kingdom. He's the reason the Maximals and Predacons can currently stand on our shelves proudly alongside the G1 characters. Whatever happens, happens, and as long as it stays in line with the quality I've come to expect from the Legacy trilogy, that's fine. And then Hasbro fired John Warden. Wait, what? If you aren't up to speed, Hasbro laid off over 900 of its employees last year, John Warden chief among them. This came as a shock to a lot of people, especially because mass layoffs like this aren't really common in the toy industry. But the same cannot be said if any of you are remotely familiar with the history of Hasbro's current CEO, Chris Cocks. And no, I will not be making any jokes about his last name, that's just low-hanging fruit. Before becoming the CEO of Hasbro, he was the president of Wizards of the Coast. And before that, he was involved in both the technology industry and the video game industry. And that makes a lot of things about him make a lot of sense in context. Mass layoffs are unfortunately very common in the AAA video game industry, as is shipping a shitty unfinished product in order to turn a profit. And it explains a lot more, like why he wants Hasbro, a toy company, to focus more on video games and AI than making toys. Truly the epitome of logic. So it's come as no surprise to me that the past year has seen a decline in the quality of Transformers figures. When compared to each leg of the Legacy trilogy, there are fewer toys being released per year in Age of the Primes. Wonder why Nexus Prime is going to be a Voyager who turns into a shitty torso block for a combiner? Well, that's because they aren't allowed to make as many new molds for leaders now. And while Age of the Primes has seen the release of plenty of good figures, I also can't deny that they are slipping, and slipping hard. To be honest, I didn't even notice it at first, but once as I got Hearts of Steel, Starscream, and Optimus, my first reaction to the set was, God, the quality of this plastic is inexcusable. Then we had Tailwing from the Sonic X Transformers crossover 2-pack, and now I finally see why Dr. Lockdown hates this line. And while 86 Windcharger is fine, there's something about his plastic quality that feels bootleggy. And even with this pile of crap, I feel like I'm still forgetting something. Oh right, HasLab Omega Prime. Now, while this toy is undeniably my favorite release that I got in 2025, I can also not deny that Hasbro really fucked this up. The fact that this figure cost over $250 only for that figure to break from mild play, that is something I can't and shan't overlook. Even though they made it right in the end by releasing replacements for Optimus Prime and the Magnuses that yellowed, that does nothing to erase what happened to people emotionally. And it definitely doesn't erase the shadow that's been cast over all future HasLab campaigns. Now, of course, none of this erases the fact that overall there were plenty of good toys released last year, and I will sing the praises of figures such as the Combaticons, Nemesis Animated Prime, Rescue Bots Heatwave, and of course, Hearts of Steel Megatron. What I'm getting versus what I'm paying seems to present as an inverse relationship. Now, originally I theorized those were the result of the Tangerine Tyrant's tariffs. However, despite the fact that the tariffs were ultimately nixed and the prices of Transformers still haven't gone down, ultimately the price increases just come down to corporate greed, even though I'm still gonna blame him for it.
So between all the price increases, the disappointing lack of quality, and quite frankly some of the abysmal figures making it through, I'm not sure I can keep up with Transformers for much longer. Fortunately, though, I may not have to, as the people at Agabus have started importing the Korean transforming robot line Metal Cardbot. And today, I'd like to unbox some of the figures from the first wave and give you my first impressions on them. So let's go over to the table where I'll unbox them, I guess. Welcome to my tabletop, where I often film my more recent reviews and where we'll be unboxing the subject of today's video. And real quick, before we begin, I want to put some transparency up there and say that, unfortunately, this isn't actually my first experience with Metal Cardbot. Back when they were on AliExpress for a relatively reasonable price, I did pick up Buffalo Crush and Shadow X here. Both of these are wonderful toys in their own right, and they need proper framing. Just a second, please. The whole conceit of Metal Cardbot is basically transforming robots that include a little transforming weapon made out of plastic. And that's their whole thing, is these little transforming machine weapon thingies. Some of them turn into ninja stars, others turn into arm-mounted drills, but they're all different. But anywho, let's just move these out of the way. I apologize if you can hear that fan. That is my 3D printer running. I have since fixed the 3D printer, which I broke a while ago, so that's all you really need to know about that. I am 3D printing stuff again. And let's get the camera reoriented again so I can properly unbox these things. Okay, here's the box of Wave 1 figures that I ordered. Anyways, let's see who we pull out first. Bluster Gale. This is sort of the weird interim price between the smallest size class and the medium size class. They call it Power Class, I want to say? I don't know. All I know is that the naming schemes for these size classes on the American releases is kind of weird. I think it's just so they can have consistent price points between them, which honestly I think is a good idea, even though it would be better if each one was sold at a unique price point that was specially designed for it. And there seems to be a bit more of that going on in Metal Cardbot, but that's besides the point. We shouldn't be focusing on that. We should instead be focusing on Bluster Gale, if you get that reference. In the original Korean release of Metal Cardbot, his name is, the anglicized version of his name is Busty Gale, which, I guess is kind of fitting considering he has a chest-mounted weapon, but, yeah, I'm gonna avoid making jokes like that for the rest of this video, hopefully. But anyways, as you can see, he comes in this big, beautiful plastic bubble. And let's just pop him out here so we can get him. Oh, it's taped. Just a second. Doodle-doodle. It's really well packed. And ooh, this thing looks so cool. It's very let's just get his accessories out of here. He's so glossy and shiny. And here is his metal card. That's the whole gimmick of the line. And as you can see, it pops off to reveal this clear plastic weapon thingy. Which I'm not... Oh, that is so much better than the others. Yeah, with the other ones, the joints are kind of a long-term concern for me because, well, they're hard joints on clear plastic. And any amount of stress on clear plastic doesn't immediately ensure its survival for the long term. But this is nice soft joints, which I much prefer. Anyways, as you can see, he's got some little clips up here, so... there we go. That's pretty cool. I love his proportions. One thing that Metal Carbot really does well that I feel a lot of Transformers struggle with these days is giving their characters personality. Just look at this guy. He's like short, but he's like a short king, but at the same time he's industrious and committed to hard work or something like that. I do wish he had eyes instead of this weird visor, but that's so far beyond being an issue. Anyways, I think I'll transform these all real quick just because it's a piece of piss to do so and just takes no time at all. So, let's see here. Gonna do this, gonna do this. I think that's how you do that. Bring this up, then that I think collapses over there. Then gonna collapse these feet in. I'm going to have to open these trapdoors at the back of the legs up and fold them out. That's pretty cool. I didn't think they'd try to adapt to the Transformers' use of leg mounts. And what I mean by that is the figures like Titans Returns Cup or Transformers Studio Series Blitzwing. Figures like that like instead of using the that use the mass of the legs to hide most of the vehicle. But that's like a reverse cup almost. Anyways, bring these together. Oh yeah, right. There's something on the website that teases like the work mode that came on the Transformers Cybertron figures, but maybe that's not actually a thing. I hope it's not actually a thing considering how ridiculous it looks. Anyways, bring these together. And honestly, that's a pretty good like dirt pusher mode. That's got me genuinely impressed. I really like this. And yes, I know he's got little cartoon eyes. I really like them. They're adorable. And honestly, like, I know some people will say, "Oh, that makes it seem it's for kids." Of course, it's for kids. That's kind of what toys are meant to be for, and it gives the series a bit of charm. Just like the CGI anime thing that they made to go along with this, and you'll get it. It gives them so much personality, and I love it. Plus, they don't always have the eyes on their vehicle modes in the show, so I guess that solves your problem right there. Anywho, let's move on to the next one. After him, we're going to go up to a size class to Mech Tackle. This is my favorite Cardbot as a character in the show because, well, he's a goofy garbage truck that breakdances and just wants to have fun. It's kind of charming, and plus he's the second Cardbot that the main character Jun captures. So, let's get him out and... Oh my! Has a big boy! Oh my goodness. Oh, he is. Oh man, this guy is large and definitely in charge. God, I just love it. I physically am incapable of not loving this. Let's get out his shield. Wait. Oh god. He's got a football helmet. Oh, that is so cool. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of football, but like, that is top class. Anywho, as I was saying, see what this shield is all about. Okay, we've got flaps here, and again, no ratchet joints, which I'm really glad to see. Do not want this thing to break on me. Oh, I see. So there's got to be a thingy on him that's supposed to go on up here. I don't get that at all. That's not how it worked in the show. Hey, gives them a chance to do a second version down the road, which I hope they do. I gave Blue Cop plenty of second chances to do his thing. But anyways, let's get him transformed. We're gonna just flip the head down. Okay, there we go. Yep. Oh, that is cool. When it flips out, it covers up the joints with windows. That is sick. Anywho, we come around here, bring this out. Then he's going to collapse like this. This waist section is gonna fold around. Wheels fold out like so. To fold down his feet again. And wow, that is so cool. And now we'll move on to the next figure that I got. Star. Yeah, Blue Star. They changed his name in the West to Blue Star. Maybe because of the... Yeah, you know what? Never mind. People do not come to this show for insightful political jokes. So if you want those, check out Greg Johnstone. He is very funny in that regard.
Guy who performs cockectomies on roadkill. I also cut off a whale's head and dumped a bear in Central Park. So glad you're in charge of our health.
Wow, he is small. That's more than I was expecting. Might be what he said. She said. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who you're into. I embrace each and every one of you as you are, so long as you aren't hurting someone. There we go. Oh. Now I was about to wonder about that, but it appears as though Agabus was nice enough to include it in the instructions. I thought they might have scrubbed this for the budget, but I'm glad to be proven otherwise. In the pre-planning stages for the series, Blue Cop, yes, I am going to call him by the Japanese name, because that's the name I prefer to use. That's pretty cool. He was going to have a gun.
And a special, if obviously dubbed over, thanks to Silverfoil for teaching me this in her review of Blue Cop.
This character, eventually they just landed on having him use a giant to fuck off boxing glove instead of a gun, but he still has it on him, like Squeeze Play coming with Browning. And it's, well, it is something. Here we go. His, giant screw-off laser gun arm thing. But anyways, there is he is with his gauntlet on. That looks insanely badass. Come on, tell me. You can't tell me that this isn't... You don't want this on some level. This is really cool. Anyways, let's get this thing transformed. It's a bit more complex than the other ones. I think mostly due to there being a backpack. But let's see here. So far, I think we just... Is this right? I think this is right. There. Anyway, that's the left arm. I think. Okay, that's actually pretty good once you get there, but getting into the transformation, it kind of sucks. And last but not least for the evening, we have Steel Hook. Anyways, let's just get this open. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, this series does have an animated series online, and it is dubbed in English, but do be warned, it's not a quality English dub. Sometimes Asian shows will get dubbed in English by certain Asian countries where English is commonly spoken. At least that's what my friend Silverfoil has told me. And to put it bluntly, they're not always the best English speakers, at least when it comes to, what's the word? Emoting in English. They're not the greatest. But that's just fine with me because, quite frankly, it's pretty funny. They're funny in the same way that Samus Aran's voice acting in Metroid Other M is funny, in that it totally doesn't fit with what's going on right at the moment. But that's not to say that it's without its bright spots either. There's been, there were 2 points which really stuck out to me. The first one was a character that's coming out in the next wave, Wild Guardy's backstory. There was a good bit of emotional voice acting. And the other one was right here with the pirate captain, because he is a stereotypical pirate, and really that's all he needs to be. And I find that really funny. But yeah, it's not amazing. Oh, I do think it's still fun. It's fun to watch, and that's important to me. But yeah, this is part of why I'm really tempted to just go over to Metal Cardbot full time, because, like, look at this. Hasbro would never. I don't think their executives would let them ever, just because it's such a gamble. It's a risk, and it's unique, and it's memorable, and I like it. Anyways, here is his little anchor weapon. I'm not sure why that toy guy just called this a hook thingy. It's clearly the ship anchor. So, like, what else could it be with this shape? But anyways, we're going to take his weapon, the captain's cannon, I believe, and we're gonna fold it up like so. Bring down this part here, snap it together, and then fold this out, and now he has a shoulder cannon. Oh, that's so sick and badass. I love it. And look at his head. This is so cool. He's got an eye patch on one eye, and the other one is just like a normal eye. You're being too polite, Jim boy. Something like that, I don't know. Of course, I don't think it will surprise anyone considering what he looks like, what he turns into. In fact, you might have even been able to guess based on the shape of the shins. But considering the fact that there's nothing in Transformers that does this, apart from an upcoming Scourge in the baby toy Cyberworld line, I'm gonna say that yeah, Metal Cardbot definitely deserves its roses, and it's gonna get its roses from this channel. Mark my words. Anyways, let's see here. Where are these tabs supposed to go? There we go. Hoist the sails. Oh, I got that upside down. Anyways, lean him up like this. Turn the head around because I guess they couldn't think of a better way to store it. Now we'll come here. Okay, there we go. We have a pirate ship, and it's got these eyes, and it looks so cool with them. Yar! Avast! Shiver me timbers and such. The sails could be a bit bigger, but otherwise, I think this is fantastic. And the head could also store easily, but honestly, it's a kid's toy. Like, really, there's only so much you can do with it, and considering this only cost me about as much as a Voyager did last year, I'd say that this has a lot of merit to it. But anyways, I think that I really do like Metal Cardbot, and I'm going to be recommending it to more people. Either way, I've enjoyed taking a look at these four, and until next time, which hopefully will be a review on one of them, this is Firebite27, over and out. Thank you so much for watching.